could wait.
Can you tell me when you will answer my questions? So you won't answer my questions.
Ask to leave,
The
sir.
staff will be providing your response. Please, right now.
Who on staff, Mr. Seaman?
You have to call us and make it a schedule. I don't know what a schedule is.
But sir, that's the problem. Calls and emails are not returned.
I don't know what people's schedules are.
Off the record, no.
Yeah, not happening. I know.
And they're going to go to the full extent of proving it.
That I don't know what it is. I mean, intimidation process seems good. I guess they think that maybe if the police officer's here, it'll make it easier for me to allow them onto my private property so they can come and do whatever they want, whenever they want.
I have a plan to come to your house and take apart your backyard. It's extremely unusual. Most of the time, people back down and remove it themselves.
Yeah, and this is very unusual. It's also unusual that you bully a citizen to this point where he can have a storage shed and a rink, but the neighbors can have whatever they want to in their backyard.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Markham City Hall in Markham, Ontario. And folks, I'm here to do an update on our story regarding Martin Ross. You might recall earlier this month we published a story about Mr. Ross. He lives in the Unionville area of Markham, and he built a backyard hockey rink. And well, the city of Markham has gone to war with him. They want him to tear it down. And if he doesn't, they'll do it for him in the days ahead and bill him, get this, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They must have a demolition firm that uses gold-plated wheelbarrows. Anyways, here is an excerpt of my interview with Mr. Ross a while back.
They've never told me what the problem is with this, what the problem is with the rink. You know, one of the city officials who we did have a kind of off-the-record conversation with, you know, oh, the noise for the neighbors, and you're using electricity.
What?
Yeah, that's what they say. You're using electricity. Yeah,
That you're paying for.
Yeah, I'm using electricity. You're right about that. You know, and it was said twice, and you're stressed you're using electricity. Yeah.
Now, folks, we did reach out to Graham Seaman. He is the bureaucrat here at Markham who is responsible for those threat letters. No response. We also reached out to his local councillor, Reid McAlpine. No response from him either. And also Markham Mayor Frank Scarpetti. Again, no response. Well, I can tell you in less than 20 minutes, there's going to be a city council meeting taking place. So I've decided to pay a house call. Hopefully we will see either Mr. Graham, Mr. McAlpine, or Mayor Scarpetti and get some answers to these questions. For example, why is it that they are going after Mr. Ross in the first place? Yes, he lives in a heritage property, but the hockey rink does not affect the integrity of the heritage property one iota, unlike his neighbor who actually built an extension and a guest house on their property. It doesn't make sense. Also, how in the world can you possibly justify hundreds of thousands of dollars for a teardown? It is absolutely insane. And finally, really, what does the city of Markham have against hockey? The best game you can name, according to Stompin' Tom Connors, our official national winter sport. And yet, they want to prevent kids from having fun. Again, it is shameful. Hopefully we can get some answers here at City Hall. Well, you know what, folks? We're just waiting for the City Council meeting to begin. I couldn't help but notice all around the area where the council chambers are, there is this nice native art. It says on the poster, Little Native Hockey League, 1971 to 2024. The 50th anniversary of the Little Native Hockey League. So I guess Markham isn't totally anti-hockey, and maybe this is an avenue for Mr. Ross to pursue. Have his rink decked out in native paraphernalia, and maybe the city will think twice before shutting his rink down. Who knows? We're just trying to find out why the removal of a backyard hockey rink is causing hundreds of thousands.
We're in confidential session right now.
Yeah, Mayor Scarpetti, I emailed you and Mr. McAlpine.
Right now, and interviews are done outside, not during the council.
but you won't respond to my emails. It's about the hockey rink of Martin Ross being demolished at the cost of hundreds of thousands.
Please during a council meeting, thank you.
But when will you make yourself available?
Wait outside.
Okay. Mr. McPalpine, did you say to Mr. Ross that 8 people complained and that would equate to 8 votes?
You're gonna have to leave. This is a council
ask you
meeting.
that.
We're in private
Okay.
session right now.
You can wait outside.
Okay then.
Please leave.
You could wait.
Can you tell me when you will answer my questions?
Leave.
So you won't answer my questions.
Been asked to leave,
The
sir.
staff will be providing you a response. Please, right now.
Who on staff, Mr. Seaman?
No,
We've been
it
asked-
doesn't matter who it is. Right
Okay.
now, we're in a council meeting and we're
Okay.
doing
Okay.
business in
Let's go.
council.
They are not responding. And how about is Mr. Seaman available, sir?
You have to call his assistant, make it a schedule. I don't know what his schedule is.
But sir, that's the problem. Calls and emails are not returned.
I don't know what people's schedules are.
Okay. Can you justify a $500,000 demolition of a rink? There you go, folks. Well, there you have it, folks. We are trying to get the City of Markham side of the story, but they won't return our calls. They won't reply to our emails. We made this house call, and Mayor Scarpetti had security frog marches out. Mr. McAlpine had absolutely nothing to say. Graham Seaman, he appears to be the invisible man. We can't find him anywhere. I guess he's holed up in his office here. But we're not done with our report. We're going to go back to Unionville. We're going to revisit Mr. Ross's house. Because he has some information, some new information about the hockey rink saga. It's not necessarily great news, but it's something. So we're going to pack up, leave here because there's no sense staying here. Clearly, this city is not transparent. It is not forthcoming to either the ratepayers or members of the media. So let's see what Mr. Ross has to say about the latest chapter in his hockey rink under siege. First of all, Martin, what do you think about our Jumbotron truck trying to raise awareness of your plight and get people to sign our petition?
I'm actually lost for words that, you guys would take out, time out of your busy schedule to support me and help me and drive around with. I didn't even know something like that existed. So it's just so impressive. And I want to thank you guys for it.
We have some updates to the situation. It's not exactly great news, but evidently you got another letter from Graham Seaman. He is the bureaucrat at the City of Markham that's, sending out these threat letters. And evidently the estimate of the takedown of your rink has changed and you've got an extension on the drop dead deadline. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, 20-day extension. It's November 18th, they say. That's when they're going to start construction. But as one of your commenters said, deconstruction. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the wording should be put correct in the letter there. And they've changed the prices. Not $500,000 as they quoted, thank goodness. It's the price of $352,000.
Wow. So they're giving you a $158,000 discount. By the way, it just shows you how cities, if they look for savings, they can find it, especially when it's a $500,000 estimate to tear down a backyard hockey rink, even at $352,000. Martin, give me a break. Where is the money going?
Well, I asked Mr. Seaman if he could show me, the breakdown. And you have to remember, it's not to tear down a rink. It's just to remove a concrete sports pad. That's the thing. So it's not tearing down any rink. I mean, that rink the boards just go up and down on their own.
Right.
Every part of that rink goes up and down on its own. So, that's just to basically remove a concrete pad. And they haven't given me the breakdown. I asked, Mr. Seaman, could you tell me who the company is that's doing it? Could you, still give me procedure of construction, which they haven't given me. So, and what's my backyard going to look like when this is all done? Can you tell me that as well, please?
And you kind of got an inkling this was going to happen, Martin. What I'm speaking of is a huge estimate in terms of tearing it down. Your ex-wife had a conversation a while back with a City of Markham bylaw officer. Let's just throw to that and listen to what he said.
Hoping that they'll just be like, you know what, pay us whatever the cost would be, and just go on with your life.
Off the record, no.
Yeah, not happening. I know.
And they're going to go to the full extent of removing it.
Of removing it.
Yep.
Like, you don't think he has a shot in hell?
We are getting quotes for a later date from 3 major contractors to come remove the pad. And those contractors are the most expensive in Ontario.
So there you go. He predicted they were going to seek out the highest priced demolition people.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems malicious and like a vendetta.
Yes.
You know, and obviously that gentleman would be in the know of how these things work in the city. I don't think he's just shooting from the hip. He obviously knows that, you know, this is modus operandi probably.
Yeah, it sure sounds like a vendetta to me. The fact that you would deliberately go out and find the highest price quotes. And also, just a couple of days ago, Mr. Seaman himself, you had a phone call with him. Didn't go that well. Here, check it out, folks.
Listen,
Not like you're getting frustrated with me, but you shouldn't. You're not the one going through this. If this was affecting Jake, K, and C, you wouldn't be too happy. But this is
Mr. Ross,
affecting.
Mr. Ross,
This is
you are
affecting.
making this personal now.
It
to
is
me.
personal to me.
And that is unfair.
How is it unfair? It's personal to me. You're affecting Sammy and Olivia, my two
No,
kids.
no.
Yes.
This is not, listen, this is representing the city. Do not bring my family.
No, you are representing a
That is
human.
unfair.
You are representing the city, and you are dealing with a human being in your city that has kids.
I'm sorry. I'm going to end this conversation. I do not like where you've taken it.
I don't like where you guys have taken it.
And Mr. Ross, you should have backed down and you should have removed it yourself. You've been advised many times that is the best path.
Well, you know
That
what?
we
You
have
guys
to
should have
this
backed
point
down.
is very unusual, sir.
I didn't hear the last part. What?
That we are at this point where I am showing up, I have a plan to come to your house and take apart your backyard is extremely unusual. Most of the time, people back down and remove it themselves.
Yeah, and this is very unusual. It's also unusual that you bully a citizen to this point where he can have a storage shed and a rink, but the neighbors can have whatever they want to in their backyard. It makes zero sense. And you know that, sir. You know that.
What's the deal with getting law enforcement involved? I don't think you have a criminal record. You're not a violent guy. What's the deal with them bringing a cop here, or is that part of the intimidation process?
I mean, yeah, you'd have to ask them. You'd have to ask them that. I don't know what it is. I mean, intimidation process seems good. I guess they think that maybe if the police officer's here, it'll make it easier for me to allow them onto my private property so they can come and do whatever they want, whenever they want. I mean, they've come and measured that pad, I don't know how many times, so they have it on the documents. I'm pretty sure they've measured the pad 5 times at least, right? And this is even when the building department said in a meeting, you know, no, we don't need to issue a permit for this. It's not a structure. Building department wouldn't get involved in something like this.
And again, Martin, I don't have the answers. It sounds like there's something behind the scenes. As I told you just an hour ago, we were at Markham City Hall. We tried to get Mayor Scarpetti and Councillor McAlpine on the record. They frog marched us out of council chambers. They didn't say anything. Well, they said, you know, get involved by, I guess, communicating with us, but that's the point. We have communicated with those individuals and Mr. Seaman, radio silence. So much for transparency, so much for accountability. And you know what, folks? They say you can't fight City Hall. That may or may not be true, but we're going to fight them. We're going to use the court of public opinion to highlight this disgraceful and egregious slam down on a piece of Canadiana, the outdoor backyard rink that is. There is no excuse for this, especially when, you know, and for those who didn't see the original video, Martin, this is a heritage home and you're not allowed to make any kind of, renovations to a heritage home. But the point is you haven't. You can't even see the rink. You know? Oh, and you're right. Across the street, renovations. Your neighbor, I understand, an addition and a guest house, and that's completely okay. A backyard hockey rink, not okay. Madness.
It is madness, and all I want is a clear explanation. They say, oh, you contravened the heritage easement agreement. This is what Mr. Seaman said the other day. I said, no, I didn't contravene the heritage easement agreement. You used the heritage easement agreement as a tool to bully me and as a tool to try and manipulate the situation. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a backyard rink.
Gotcha. Folks, stay tuned. This game is going into overtime. Rebel News will be here for Martin. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully it's a good outcome, but either way, we'll be here to cover this. City of Markham, the puck is in your end. Please do the right thing. Allow the kids to play hockey at the household Martin Ross resides in. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, what kind of a Grinch would declare war on the backyard hockey arena? I mean, that's an icon of Canada, for goodness sakes. If you feel as offended as we do, please go to our new petition, savetherink.ca. That's savetherink.ca. Sign that petition, and we'll deliver it to the City of Markham and tell them to back off this crazy idea of demolishing a beloved backyard hockey rink.